Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel for my first review on a previously released film. Leading up to tomorrow's release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, I've decided to review each film in the Skywalker saga. So this is Kia's Reviews and this is my review of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, excuse me. Check it out, Corporal. We'll cover you. Roger, roger. Uh-oh. Blast.
Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace, which came out 20 years ago, is described by many as the start of the downfall of the Star Wars franchise, and in hindsight the prequel trilogy is simply the worst of the three Star Wars trilogies. Even though The Phantom Menace isn't the worst of all Star Wars films, it still is bad quality due to the bland acting, the poorly written dialogue, and the weak introductions to the Star Wars world.
We must survive on our own.
Excuse me.
Has anybody ever seen a pod race?
They're pod racing on Malastare. Very fast, very dangerous.
I'm the only human who can do it.
You must have Jedi reflexes if you race pods. Don't do that again.
The biggest weak point in The Phantom Menace is the weakness of the whole cast. There are some truly great actors in this film, including Liam Neeson, who had previously been in Schindler's List, Ewan McGregor, who had been in Trainspotting, Natalie Portman, who had been in Leon the Professional, and a small variety of others. For a cast with this much talent to be so boring and bland all the way through the 130-minute runtime is really disappointing, as none of the characters could be worthy of investing interest into. There are very few moments during The Phantom Menace that are memorable, or are even vital to the future of the Star Wars films, so this film is probably the biggest disappointment in the Star Wars franchise.
Shasha, using the boomer! He said don't have a boomer! Here, take this one!
Amongst a sea of poor cast performances, The Phantom Menace has incredibly basic and boring dialogue, weak introductions to some key characters in the future of Star Wars, as well as some really annoying characters. Yes, the infamous Jar Jar Binks. Seemingly dismissing the complete essence of the original trilogy of A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, The Phantom Menace is purely based on a thin plot of useless negotiations that pose no real interest to the audience. This movie could have been an incredibly interesting installment into the franchise of Star Wars, as characters like Darth Vader and Ben Kenobi got a backstory in the original characters of Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Their setups were such a letdown as the acting from both cast members was unbelievably bland. Before I wrap up this review, let's just say that Jar Jar Binks is probably the most annoying character in film history. However, he is a character of pure ridiculous comedy that you can't help but laugh at him, not with him. He is definitely the biggest disappointment in the whole franchise. Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace may not be the worst Star Wars film, but it is still very bland, boring, and ultimately disappointing. For a film with this much potential to be so incredibly bad, it's unbelievable that this is what came of the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Majority of the characters were either underused or purely useless to the already weak plotline, so The Phantom Menace is simply the biggest disappointment of the whole Star Wars franchise, so I'm giving this film a 4 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. Have you seen Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace? Let me know below. If you like what you're seeing here and you want to see even more, check out my channel and be sure to have a look at my previous reviews of The Irishman and Frozen 2. As always, be sure to follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel. This has been Kia's Reviews, signing off for now.